My name is Hardeep Pandhal and I am presenting a solo exhibition at the Midlands Arts Centre called Saag and Fish Fingers. This exhibition revolves around a narrative that I've been developing, and I've made an avatar based on British Sikh soldiers, and I've been working with this avatar for many years. And now I've got to the stage where I've given it a name and a structure. I call the character Sepoy Man because British Indian soldiers were called sepoys. And the world that I've created is called the Pintooverse. And the name Pinto revolves around an anecdote, a fake family name. And there are other characters as well that are born from continuous line drawings that refer to the negative space in comics, which is called the gutter. And these other characters are called gutter people. And to me, they represent silenced or marginalized figures. And there's also a degree of class consciousness in the work. In a lot of this work, you'll see a lot of smoke, a lot of black spray. And I wanted to give myself a structure, and one way to sort of visualize a sense of a corrupting sort of force or a miasmic toxic element within the world was to render something, a substance in this fog spray. And I call this neurotic magic, and I think arguably it's what makes the gutter people silenced and trapped. And Sepoy Man is trying to try to free the gutter people, but risks being contaminated or intoxicated by this smoke, this black fog himself. When I think about my love for video games and my nostalgia for video games, and perhaps what video games did when I was growing up in terms of like fostering family environment, and so domestic sort of safety and bliss, those earlier video games were comprised of composite graphics and kind of different types of like visual information. And a lot of it now, looking back, looks quite janky or kind of a bit funny and a bit silly, but also a bit scary. So some of the works reference those kinds of graphics and those kinds of strange visual effects that I associate with childhood and perhaps joyful times as well. Whilst drawing is something that I focus on a lot, I did make animations as well, and I still do that a little bit. And one of the things I got from that was the idea of thinking about how a form or a figure can change shape or move. So a lot of my work actually takes the form of sequential imagery, and that idea of the sequence manifests in a lot of this work. And the painting series is called Gut Reaction, and again it kind of suggests multiple things. The idea of mark making and like maybe expressing oneself through milkshake or like paint, or throwing kind of things around in the world as a gut reaction. But also in the narrative, I wanted to represent Sepoy Man in a kind of alternate form, and I decided on a dragon for various reasons. And the Gut Reaction series, in a way, imagines Sepoy Man transforming into a dragon, and the perspective shifts between, seeing Sepoy Man kind of like split in two, and then seeing the gutter people emerge from the stomach. But then also some of the imagery looks like it could be viewed as if under a microscope. Lots of like references to bodily functions, liquid, gas, kind of organic forms, so yeah. And I think at some point the narrative is in my head, but I kind of lose sense of it because I, in a way, become the characters and imagine myself, immersed in this environment. One of the things about the comic format is that I realized, looking at the original drawings, that the artist would often cut and paste parts because it would involve so much labor making a single image or a single panel. So seeing those kind of earlier works made me realize that this texture of like the paper, the collage, the cut, and seeing that kind of process was to me, it added something, or I felt that it was, providing a bit of extra narrative to something. So I really just took that and made it an integral part of the way that the works are comprised. But, because I'm talking about British Indian soldier that is imagined, I'm talking about a historical subject from, the 40s, the 50s. So it felt appropriate for me to kind of use a medium which was relevant or, dominant at that time. So drawing with ink, comics, paper, these kind of traditional media seemed to be the most appropriate way to almost rewrite that history. It is significant to present it in Birmingham, and thinking about Birmingham made me think more about my childhood and also personal memories as well. And that took me to home, and also, playing and sort of innocence and kind of also values as well. As I said, I feel like the class consciousness is important, but also, I've moved out of Birmingham and I've, went to art school and I've, had different sorts of experiences. So I want to also bring that into the work. I don't want to sort of lose aspects of me that are important and I guess honest to a degree as well.